Hello and welcome back to Whitney Alex Works recap of The Bachelorette Season 20, Episode 7, Fantasy Suites. Before we begin, please like and subscribe here for more recap videos just like this one. Alright, let's get started. Fantasy Suites week begins with Charity and her final three men, Joey, Xavier, and Dotun, all heading to the country of Fiji in the South Pacific. Charity is hopeful for this week as everyone is excited to continue this journey and build their connections further. We then see Charity catch up again with host Jesse Palmer about her difficult decision sending Aaron home last week, but she knows she needs to move forward as she is looking forward to making connections with her final three men. The first fantasy suite date goes to Xavier. Xavier has told Charity that he has fallen in love with her, but Xavier is admitting in his confessionals that he is starting to doubt his ability to commit fully to one individual. But meanwhile, Charity is full speed ahead with Xavier as she definitely sees a future with him. For their daytime portion of their date, Charity and Xavier spend the day on a private island where they meet up with Fiji cultural leaders. They are then separated as both get dressed up in traditional Fiji wedding attire and they end up performing traditional Fiji wedding rituals together. But while Charity is really into the ceremony, Xavier internally is having a hard time with it as his doubts are taking over his experience with Charity. Meanwhile, we switch to San Diego, California, where Aaron is seen reflecting on his elimination last episode, but because Charity seemed unsure about her decision at the last rose ceremony, Aaron is planning to travel halfway across the world for a chance to reconnect with Charity. We then switch back to Charity and Xavier's fantasy suite date, where it's now the nighttime portion of that date. Charity and Xavier sit down and have a toast to their day, but Xavier is finally ready to tell Charity what has been on his mind. And well, it's going to go as badly as you might expect because Xavier expresses his doubts directly to Charity, and he admits he is scared of commitment and decides to drop a bombshell on Charity, which makes you wonder if he did this as a way to get out of the relationship. Well, he states that he knows this will be triggering for Charity to hear, but he has dabbled in infidelity in the past. This completely throws the mood off kilter, and Charity has to take a second and she steps away in disbelief. When she returns, she has expressed that infidelity is what she went through for 6 years, and she refuses to go back to that type of situation. And really, it seems Xavier was looking for a way out as he confesses that all of a sudden he has loyalty issues and it's hard for him to stay faithful to a woman because of basically peer pressure from his friends. And really, Charity is shocked at how the night ended up, and really this seems like the end for these two. Charity says she is sad and disappointed in the end result, and she suddenly walks Xavier out, meaning that all of a sudden only 2 men remain. After Xavier's exit, Charity is looking forward to spending more time with Joey. The drama with Joey stems from hometowns where his Uncle Joe called him out for not being entirely genuine. Well, despite what occurred, Charity shows up in an ATV and picks up Joey for a fun time and they drive around, but the vehicle gets stuck and soon they have to call it on the driving adventure. They end up walking toward a waterfall and they talk about the doubts and issues presented to them at hometowns. Joey confesses that maybe he was a little uncomfortable with the situation because he was not aware his uncle was going to show up at the indoor tennis court. And with Joey opening up about his insecurities, Charity is glad he opened up and everything seems to be quickly back on track with these two. They end up kissing and then they head into the water and start kissing by the waterfall. It's soon the nighttime portion of the fantasy suite date, and it's a formal tropical setting where Joey and Charity continue to open up about their insecurities, as both relate to being people pleasers, and soon Charity is finally ready to tell Joey how she really feels about him, and then proceeds to tell him that she is falling in love with him, as Joey tells her that he is in love with her. They kiss, and soon Charity pulls out the fantasy suite invite card, and Joey of course accepts, and they end up spending the night together. In the morning, we see Joey and Charity snuggling and enjoying being together as they both acknowledge that they are in love with each other and even saying I love yous. They do have a hard time saying goodbye to each other, but they are excited to see each other again soon. We then switch to the last fantasy suite date and it goes to Dotun. Dotun has told Charity that he is falling in love with her, but his doubts only stem from her having other options and not saying I love you back yet. These two meet up where they spend the day on a private island and end up going jet skiing and having a picnic on a sandbar. They then reflect on hometowns and how welcoming Dotun's family was to Charity. Charity compliments Dotun's mother and says that she really enjoyed meeting his family. Dotun then confesses that at the beginning of the show, he had no idea that there was a possible engagement at the end of this, but knowing what the show entails now, he is ready for the engagement, and this prompts Dotun and Charity to connect further and to share a lot of romantic moments together. At the nighttime portion of the date, both are dressed in formal attire and share even more kisses before they sit down and continue to discuss how they view their connection. Dotun admits that he is smitten and that despite the situation they are in, everything feels right. Dotun then says that he is 100% in love with Charity, and Charity is excited to tell him she is in love with him. After telling each other that they love each other, both feel liberated as Charity pulls out the invite card to Fantasy Suites. Dotun, of course, accepts the extra time without cameras, and they head out to spend the night together. The next morning, these two are in full bliss as Dotun is one step closer to securing Charity's heart. They say goodbye, and we switch back to the long shot storyline. We switch back to Aaron's point of view as he is traveling across the world to try and win Charity back. He cites that because Charity admitted last episode that she wasn't sure she was making the right decision, he feels like there were things left unsaid. Aaron then arrives at the hotel in Fiji and starts looking for Charity right away, and surprises her when she is lounging next to a pool. She is shocked to see Aaron and she can't believe he is here right now. She takes a second and then sits down with him and expresses that she has been thinking about him ever since she sent him home, and even admits that she was falling in love with him. But will Aaron stay? That's the big cliffhanger as the episode draws to a close as Charity admits she is confused and doesn't know what to do with Aaron's sudden reappearance. And that's it for this recap. Thank you for watching Whitney Alex Works recap of The Bachelorette Season 20 Episode 7, the Fantasy Suites episode. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe here for more videos in the future. See you soon for the Men Tell All.